Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I want to thank Night Rage. He's let me use his account and he has pulled one of the epics that I'm most excited about since the new release. Since the new release of Champions. So we're going to get straight into this. He has got himself, I mean, we're talking someone that opens a void now and then. 3 Hedgies, 2 Seafies. This account is disgusting. 2 Ethoses. Couple of Dracos for fun, couple of Trunders. This account is stacked high. Stacked high with champions. We don't stop there. We've got legendaries coming out of our ears. But I don't know if I've ever seen so many void legendaries. Absolutely crazy amounts. So who do I want to look at today then? I want to look at this fella. Inquisitor Shamael from the Wild West. He doesn't look like he suits this game. He reminds me of Harrier, who also doesn't look like he suits this game. But if he was in a different game, I think he would look pretty cool. Like, he's got a cool demeanor about him, kind of like him. Anyway, what I'm most interested in is his kit. So he's got here, attacks 1 enemy, A1. You think, okay, nothing special about that. But then, when booked out, 75% chance of decreasing the duration of a random buff on a target. That's kind of nice, A1 then. 75% chance of dropping a buff. This is what I love though. Counterattacks with this skill each time an enemy places a debuff on an ally. Now you think about how often that happens. It's pretty much any time an enemy gets a go. Clan boss, almost 2 out of the 3 abilities will proc this. Straight out. So you get 2 extra hits out of a full rotation. I feel like he could be busted in Clan Boss. Also, if you're trying to deal with waves, chances are there's going to be 1 or 2 people in that wave that will throw debuffs at you. Faction Wars, you've got debuffs coming at you all the time. Doom Tower, debuffs coming at you all the time. The one thing which I thought might happen, which doesn't happen, it says here, counterattacks with this skill each time an enemy places a debuff on an ally. And I wondered if there were multiple debuffs placed at the same time, like decreased defense on your whole team, whether he would do tons of counters. He doesn't, he just does 1. So it's 1 per ability that places a debuff. But still, it's still cool. These counterattacks only deal 50% of the normal damage, and they can't be crits. That's an important fact. So what I'm wondering is whether he would just be proccing War Master procs for you in something like Clan Boss, so you can get massive benefit out of this. But this is cool. We've got an A2 then, attacks 1 enemy 3 times, ignores 25% of the target's defense. We'll ignore a further 25 for each buff on this champion. Places a True Fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn if this attack kills someone. So if he's got 3 buffs on him, he's going to ignore 100% defense. And he's hitting 3 times. This ability sounds busted. And places a True Fear on all enemies if you kill someone, which is an awesome debuff to place. And I'm also curious to know if this actually still works if block debuffs is in play. I guess it doesn't, but still, loads of stuff going on in 2 skills here, which is awesome. And because he's only got 2 abilities, only one ability that can cool down, you can put him in something like Reflex Gear, and you would get this ability back really fast. So that's very cool as well. Something else then, so he's got a passive here. Each crit fills this champion's turn meter by 7.5%. So he can't crit on his A1. That's a shame. If he could, then, on the counterattack part, if he could, then that would be kind of broken, busted, and awesome. Whenever an ally receives Fear or True Fear, this skill instantly removes it and fills that ally's turn meter by 15%. So people like Michal coming at you, any of the AoE True Fear guys, or Fear people, people like Harvest Jack, people like Madame puts fears out there, any of those champs, you don't get feared, instead you gain turn meter. That is an amazing passive. So his whole kit, I love. I absolutely love it. It's one of the best put together kits I've seen in Raid in a huge amount of time. I love it. So we're going to try him out. I'm going to try him out first as like total nuke and just see what damage he does. Everything he does is based off attack. Yeah. So I'm going to build him total nuke, see how much damage he can do. Then I'm going to build him for like a clan boss setup. I think I'm going to go total nuke and arena, then clan boss, and see what we can do in those two areas. Right then, what have I done? I've got him in Savage gear. Savage is always my nuke test if I can do it on an account. So we've done Savage gear, 100% crit, 251 crit damage. He's slow because he's in attack percent boots, 3.9k attack. His base attack is okay actually, it's pretty good, 1300 odd. Base speed is really good, 101. So, and he's got 229 accuracy. So, actually I just need to tweak something here. Probably just that ring if we've got something better. But ultimately, I've gone full attack and full crit wherever I can. Scrape a little bit more attack. It's probably not worth it. Okay, so what have I done then? We've got crit damage on the gloves with crit rate, attack percentage on the chest, attack percentage on the boots with crits, and then I'm basically looking for as much crit and crit rate, crit damage, crit rate as I can, making sure I hit 100% crit rate. In terms of masteries, I've got him set up in like an offensive mastery. I've got some accuracy in his build so that he does land that true fear if it kicks in. And then we've gone for crit damage in his build. Helm Smasher would also be awesome here. I just decided to go crit damage. In fact, this is what was already set up with Night Rage. I didn't want to waste his gems. So, yeah, so we've left it as it is. So we're going to take him in for a quick damage test. He's void, so he can play anywhere. I like to do a damage test on Dragon. So basically, what's happening here in terms of tools is we're getting increased attack up from Arbiter. We're getting drop defense and weaken from Draco everywhere. We're boosting our damage because we're putting poison on the enemy. And then we're boosting our damage because we're putting poison on us. So all of those things just do a ton of work. So we've got the attacked one enemy 3 times. If we kill the enemy, everyone gets true feared. So let's go for, I guess, one of the crossbowmen. Decrease defense and weaken. Just check that I've got it out. Just often I do it wrong. Let's go. I've got 3 buffs on me, so it does count. Let me just check that again. 3 buffs, so I'm going to ignore 100% of his defense. Each hit 90k. So that would have been like 260, 270k worth of damage. Everyone's got true feared. Damn, that's nice. That is strong damage. Let's just cycle around to him again. Obviously, everyone's true feared up, so kind of gives us a bit of time. Keep the attack on. Here we go. A1 then. This can crit. I could have removed a buff if they had one, but it can crit. It doesn't crit if we get counter-attacked. So I'm going to leave Tyrell up because I actually want him to have a go at debuffing us. 107 on the A1. Pretty solid. Pretty solid. Yeah, nice damage. So let's see. We're probably not going to be attacked because we're too strong. So let's just get some A1s out. Let's see if, or just see what happens on his counter. So we are going to get some debuffs out, get our damage up. Just get an A1 in. Straight A1 without any derped up damage boost. 78k. It's nice. It's not like crazy. We have had champions before that do, you know, silly numbers. He's not in that camp, but it's still strong. So we actually got, I think we resisted every single chance to debuff there. Just keep the debuffs on them. Has anyone even got a chance? I think this guy can debuff. Tyrell can, but he just messed it up. Let's go for that triple hit again. Got 2 buffs on us this time, so we're going to ignore 75% defense. I mean, that damage on the A2 is huge. Huge damage on the A2. Okay, we're going to see debuffs here anyway. So let's run this through. We should be seeing debuffs here. A1 for 50k on the dragon. Dragon should get his turn. Hold on, we're doing... Come on, guys. Let him have a go. Let him have a turn. Just going to A1 it because I don't want to kill him without the dragon even getting a go. Here we go. Debuffs on us. So we've got one counter, and it's kind of a weak source counter in effort. In fairness, so I think the only place that's going to really play into effect, 80k a pop there. That is high damage on that A2. The only place I think then it's going to really play into effect for us with that counter move is going to be maybe the arena, and we'll try that in this same build. Or I think it's going to be Clan Boss when you're trying to get multiple War Master hits out. Because it looks like because he doesn't crit on that retaliation hit, it's just not that strong. It's just not quite that strong. Let's just pop straight into the arena. I think we'll go straight into the arena, yeah. So, okay, looks like we've got a team set up already to do this. It's not much of a debuff team against us. I want to fight someone that's going to throw debuffs on us. Here we go. Obviously, I mean, the arena's a mess right now. It's very hard to get fights that are worthwhile. Let's buff ourselves. Let's buff ourselves on this. And then we're just on A1 a little bit until some debuffs come our way. I do want to try this True Fear move, though. So ignore defense. I mean, it's just a one-shot on these first hits. I tell you what, it's hard to see if this is good or not because we're just fighting such weak champions here. Let's go into the 3v3 and just try it out there. Okay, let's try this team here. They've got a bunch of debuffs at the start. Let's see. My biggest worry here is he just falls straight down because he's actually quite squishy. I've not built him with any sort of HP or defense or anything. It's literally glass cannon. So I want them to have a turn. So I'm just going to A1. I basically want for their Lydia to get her debuffs out. She's going to debuff us here. We're going to counter. Yeah, so the counter's kind of weak. 50% of its normal damage, and it's not a crit. It's weak. So it's a shame. That ability for arena and for dungeons, I think, is just not that strong. Let's see here. We've only got one buff up. We're going to be ignoring some defense. We're ignoring 50% defense with this triple hit. And they've got strengthen on as well. This might be impossible. Let's see. Still doing 20, 30k hits. Anyway, so I feel like in the arena, he's going to be awesome. Because, I mean, we could fight that same fight again and win it, obviously. He's going to be awesome for a single target damage dealing team. But I think that's it. I think he's cool for single target damage. But like most champions, if you compare it to the Trunda in the mix, you know, Trunda is outright just going to do more work. So I think I'm going to just A2 with the Trunda. I'm going to A3, A2 here. See that? With the extra buffs, she sits straight down. Literally, she's gone. It's whether or not we can withstand Mr. Candrafon's nuke. Oh, we still can't. It's big. It's big. And that's the difference. You know, when you've got someone who's in a AoE nuke situation versus a single target, generally the AoE nuke champion is going to be better. But in terms of can he come in and do the single target, he can, and he can sit people straight down. So I think for dungeons, it's going to be pretty cool for general dungeon clearing. Especially good, I think, in Finites because of his triple hit. His triple hit, and it's the only ability that he's got that's got any sort of cooldown, and it's only 3 turns. So he's going to be getting those triple hits back comfortably. He's going to ignore defense when he's hitting with it, and he's also going to counterattack when the finite hits. Let's just throw him into this team and see how he performs here. But I think, I'm going to test him in a minute, but I think Clan Boss might be his kind of niche where his abilities really kick in. 50 odd K pumps there. Very nice. His A2 hits freaking hard. It really does. It's a massive hitter. Compare it to True Traxxer, who's hitting for like 10k a hit on quad hits. He's hitting for 3 hits here, like 50 odd K each. I don't think there's many champions in the game that could withstand his A2 when he's got 3 buffs up. I mean, that's with 1 buff up, 40k a hit. And then 40k a hit on his A1. So yeah, he's a strong hitter. He's only got 1 skill to cool down. I like both of those things. It's a shame he doesn't have some sort of AoE utility. I like that when he kills someone with the A3, he AoE fears. And let's see what he can do on the actual boss part. One thing I didn't test in the arena, which I'll go back to actually, is if someone's coming at us with an AoE fear. Triple hit there. We've only got 1 buff up. We're hitting for 40k. It's nice. It's good damage. It's quite a fast time as well. Yeah, 760 damage. More than Crutraxer in that run, which shows you how hard he's hitting. He's hitting the same kind of damage as a Crutraxer. So, really like that. Really like that. Let's just see if we can find someone who's done a true Fearus in the arena. Basically looking for someone like Harvest Jack or Mashold. Mashold's probably the best one, so he throws it out there straight away. Here we go. Got Mashold straight out. Let's see what we can do here. So they are faster than us. They increase our cooldowns. True Fear is cleaned straight off, and he counterattacks. So everyone else would have gained a bit of turn meter there. It's just squishy. It's just squishy, which yeah, it's a tricky one, right? I don't think, I mean, maybe it's just a build I've got him in, because I have built him like literally glass cannon. But in the arena, if someone's true fearing you, like Mashold, they definitely get a turn next again. And if they get a turn next, this guy's sitting down. 100%. With a 903 base defense, unless you build him as an absolute tank defensive champion, he's sitting down. And if you do that, you're not hitting hard. So for the arena, that's a cool utility about the ability to shake off fears for your team and give them speed instead. But yeah, I struggle to see how he's going to actually stay alive following it. There are waves that do fearing in faction wars, and I think it will help you for that. But let's go on to some clan boss action. Let's re-gear him now, a bit more sensibly for clan boss, and see what we can do with that. In terms of masteries, I've got him set up in like an offensive mastery. I've got some accuracy in his build so that he does land that true fear if it kicks in. And then we've gone for crit damage in his build. Helm Smasher would also be awesome here. I just decided to go crit damage. In fact, this is what was already set up with Night Rage. I didn't want to waste his gems. So, yeah, so we've left it as it is. Okay, so if you're building him for Clan Boss, you don't need any accuracy because True Fear means nothing. So all you want then is a kind of standard War Master build. Everything he does, actually he does a triple hit on his A2, single hit on his A1. I think War Master still is the better proc because all of his counterattacks are going to come through War Master. So I think we'd go War Master, pretty standard build, and then we would also do a kind of defensive. This base 75 defense is actually big on him. Reducing damage from AoEs is big on him as well, especially because his base defense is so low. But then we'd also take these additional chances to counterattack from these other abilities as well. So maybe this one's actually redundant deterrence, thinking about it. Maybe because he should counterattack when that stun goes on anyway. Maybe that's a wasted mastery. Probably is. My bad. But yeah, I've already pressed it. Okay, we're going to throw this into a team. This isn't a team that he's set up for Clan Boss, but I've just tweaked a couple of numbers to make it work. So we've got a Valk, 191 speed. She's got too much accuracy. I mean, she's going to mess up turn meter and stuff, but I just want to see how he runs. We've got a Bad L who's going to do healing for us. Again, kind of low defense from what I'd normally run, but it's fine for this test. Normally, we'd go like defense here as well. We've got so Valk, Bad L, Draco, who's again, he's kind of, which one of these Dracos is better? Both of them are kind of weak. in terms of their defense number. I'm just trying to find someone with better defense. Looks like Lydia. Lydia would be best for us here. It means it's going to throw our speed tune off, but it doesn't really matter too much. It's more about him. And then maybe someone like a Frozen Banshee will be fine. Yeah, okay. So what I've done with his build is I've put him in lifesteal gear. He doesn't need to be in lifesteal, really. We're running Bad L, we're running Valk. But I'd done it anyway before I realised who I was going to play. I got enough speed so that he's going faster than the clan boss. I've kept him at 100% crit rate. I've pushed defense up as much as is kind of sensibly possible. So I kept him in crit rate gloves, but I've gone defense chest, speed boots. If we were doing proper end game builds, you might you'd make a decision here. You'd either go defense on these gloves as well, or you would go for you'd go crit rate, defense, and find speed elsewhere, which I think we probably could have done if I'd really pushed his gear to the limit. In terms of masteries, I've switched him out to this kind of offense with more master, defense build with counters. Deterrence here is not going to give us any benefit. I picked it before I realised it was a bit of a mistake. Oh, lovely. Get to buy some more speed gear. Merry Christmas, everyone. So let's get into an Ultra Nightmare hit then. Now, he normally runs an unkillable team, and I was thinking about it, could I just throw him into that unkillable team? But if debuffs are not landing on your team, you don't get any benefit from his passive, which is the whole reason, really, for using him in this setup. Okay, so we're going to try something like this then. Tyrell, Valk, Bad L, Draco, and then the new fella. Really, he doesn't bring any debuffs, which makes him a luxury to have in your team. And that is a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. If you've got someone who's in there purely as luxury, sometimes you just can't fit them in, quite frankly. But we're going to see here, for some reason we're not placing on decreased defense and weaken on yet, which is weird. I guess there is something else on his A1. If I did build him with accuracy, he could have been trying to steal this buff or remove that buff, which he's got a 50% chance to do, which would actually be kind of nice. So we should see now, every time a debuff lands on one of our team, we get that counter. Bam, counter attack. What I'm curious to see is, can that counter attack proc War Master? If it can, then this is viable. But he is a luxury here. Like, he's a definite luxury in this comp. I don't think I've seen it proc War Master yet. There's a counter again. Didn't happen. So far, it definitely hasn't procced War Master at all, which makes me think maybe it can't. Counter every time. 4 odd thousand. Because a counter on its own is weak. The damage is not enough for it to be viable. If it can proc War Master, then it is viable. I don't think it can. Oh, it did there. Okay, it did. For some reason, it's like we had about 50 in a row where it didn't. Looks like it just procced it there. So that's good news. It means that this is an option. Because his damage alone, without being able to crit on the A1, his damage alone is not strong enough. But if he can get War Master procs as well, not sure exactly what I'm seeing. I'm seeing 3 hits of damage when this goes on. I'm trying to get my head around what I'm actually seeing in the rundown of damage here. It looks like he's trying to do something, which is remove that buff. It's resisting that, and then I'm seeing a War Master proc after it, I think. But every now and then I keep seeing like 3 hits. Is that because 3 decreased speeds went out there? See that? 5 hits. Maybe we are. Maybe we're getting 5 shots. 5 shots of damage. If we are, then that's actually I mean, it should be a lot of chances to get War Master, but I'm only seeing one War Master hit. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm still confused, to be honest. Anyone has got the kind of lowdown of what we're seeing here in terms of damage ticks, that would be really interesting to know. I'm pretty certain whenever he's done A1 off his own back, he's not hit a single War Master proc. Unless, like, my brain is confused. But it looks like he's getting some sort of damage out for... It looks like there is damage coming out for that counter for each person who takes a debuff. Which, again, doesn't reign true with what we've seen in places like the arena. So, I don't know, guys. I'm a bit confused. Maybe it's because he's doing it on different ability, like different number of hits. But anyway, we'll play this through for the final, get the damage out, and see if any of this makes any sense whatsoever. Okay, so it ended up being quite a short run. I haven't tuned any of this team other than Inquisitor. Draco's done his high damage 5.9 because he's the Poisoner. Shamal's actually come in at 2.4 million. A bit higher than Tyrell. Obviously, he's in that lifesteal set. I think I'm probably a bit disappointed. I didn't see a huge amount of War Master hits. And I think the way that works is tons of War Master procs every time those debuffs go out. So far, I think his kit sounds wicked. Sounds awesome. I think the reality of what's actually playing out is not quite as awesome. Maybe it's going to take a bit more work, a bit more playing around with him. But the other area where, you know, perhaps you could get some joy is Doom Tower. He does bring a Doom Tower aura. But only really on waves where you know you're going to get true fears against you. And, you know, that's a very niche time to roll someone out. You know, looking through these here, I haven't seen a single one yet. It's a very niche time to bring someone into the game and level someone to 60 and all that type of stuff if he's not going to be genuine value in a lot of content. So, I tell you what, it's probably the most interesting kit I've seen for a long time. The reality of how it plays out this time around for me is crazy strong A2, can nuke anyone down, but I'm struggling to see genuinely where he's going to fit into your team. If I've got it wrong, guys, and you've got a spot in your brain, please leave a comment below because I desperately want this guy to work. His kit is awesome. I can't quite see where he's going to play to make that kit, you know, to get the most out of those abilities. Anyway, guys, up in Hell Hades, that's Shamal, the new Void Epic. We'll catch you later.